We're live. Hello, 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 hello. I don't know how many of you are here, but I sure got a ton of questions on my thing. So, what I did, and of course, Kelly's here to help me because, as we all know, Kelly's the other part of my brain, the one part that fills in for the part that doesn't work. Um, and I'm going to start pile driving through these questions. Um, and I hope that you can get. I'm going to put a banner across the bottom so you'll know what the question is. I'm going to make we're going to do it this way. So make the board big, make us little, and so you can see what's going on. I've got the Oracle Garden out, and my first question is Linda, Boulder of Doom.
Can I do some sound effects? Bum 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 bum.
Sure. I don't have great music editing skills, but Linda had the Boulder of Doom, and she's had a period of her life where she had the same dreams over and over again. And it was that she was being chased like a boulder, just like Indiana Jones, except it was 12 years before that movie was made. And eventually she kind of outgrew it, but she wants to know what happened. So I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And if the board says no, then we'll throw a couple stones on it. But this is yes on this board, and this is no. And I will put a banner up at the end. These are now available. I'll give you the email to get a hold of Alma to get them. And she'll email you back because it's not my business and I have too much stuff I can't do already. Okay. She says she was buried by rocks, like a big boulder rolled over her. And then the way the dream finally ended was one day in her dream, she was walking down the street. She could see her hand from her past life coming out of the earth. So she decided she might have been buried in a mine explosion or something like that. So what I saw is, how do you feel about Pompeii? He goes, what I got was the black cloud where you were running was the hyperplast that hit Pompeii, and they said it was dark as night in the middle of the day, and then the big explosion happened and it buried people. So I had a feeling it's Pompeii. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this out, take the pendulum, and this is exactly what you'll get from Alma, this extra long, beautiful pendulum chain. And this is the paperclip chain. And the glory of this kind of chain is it doesn't knot. A lot of pendulums you get have those funky chains that knot. This one doesn't, which is absolutely marvelous. And we're going to go in a circle now. Am I correct about her having been killed in Pompeii? You couldn't get more of a yes, girl, if you wanted to. So I think you better start reading up on your Roman robes, which is kind of funny because I have another question coming up. And Lakeisha wants to know who she was. So we're going to ask a few questions about it. I'm not going to do the whole time thing because, man, figuring out what century you're born in is the most boring part of this reading. So you can work that out. But who was Lakeisha? Her sex? And I'll tell you how to read that. It goes to female, but it swings way out over male. Mm-hmm. So you were a male. And what attribute did you have in that past life that Lakeisha can focus on before she goes to bed tonight so she can figure out who she was? You were powerful. It was a powerful past life. And how should Lakeisha view herself within her family? You were part of the soul of this family, and you're going to recognize when you start visualizing things in this life that, in other words, the position you hold with your family now is going to be the position you can hold. One more thing. And I'm going to ask, did you die in old age or youth? Older. You died a happy old person, and you were part of the soul center of your family. So you've reconnected with your past lives. Okay. Now we have one person she's not greedy. She just said 3 lives, and I told her I'll do yes, no's on them. She saw her. What?
Sorry, Janice. Janice
Mhm.
wanted to know if you got her question from yesterday.
I do. And
Okay.
I'm going to be I'm answering them in the way they came in.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. I didn't put her up, did I? Okay. This is, and I'm sorry, this was the one of my past lives. You got it. And I'm seeing like pretty ancient. I'm seeing like Greece or someplace like that for La Q. Okay. Oh, Painter. She has 3 past lives she wants me to look at. And we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it with the pendulum on the garden.
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly pop my card on the screen here. I'll throw it up on the so she can see. So this is Archangel Raziel. This is for the last one that we had for Lakeisha, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's wisdom, inspiration, and Akashic records, which I just thought was really interesting because of where you went with that, right?
Right.
I also got Archangel Raguel, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm probably not pronouncing it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Justice, Harmony, and Solutions.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because you went all around the soul family and the free will kind of area,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. And so I felt like she will feel that harmony.
Right. And in exploring this past life, you're going to understand your own personal justice.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Okay. So now, old Painter, were you in Avalon? Yep. Were you at the nativity scene? Could you pull a card on her for the nativity scene so we can see who she was? Yep, you were there.
Huh. Relaxation. Pete, look at like laying in the manger right there. I mean, that's laying in the hammock, right?
You're right.
Pursuits and happy times. So I feel like, I mean, is it possible? Can you ask?
Okay. I'm going to ask if she's a splinter of the Christ life. No. You know what I saw when I saw she was at the manger? Was she the one who convinced her husband to let them stay in the barn? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got my hairs are standing up on end. Woo! I got total chills.
Now the last one is not the happiest of memories. I'm sure past life memories. Was she a witness and was she in the Holocaust? Meaning a prisoner. Yes, unfortunately you were. And let's see if you died. Let's see if you're male or female. Female. And what age were you? If it can give me an age, like older, younger, whatever. Doesn't want to give me that. So you're going to have to figure that one out on your own. Susie wants to look at one past life. So I'm going to throw the stones in to look at Susie's one past life.
And hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here.
Yes. And I can't see the chat, guys, because I'm doing this.
I'm keeping my eyes on the chat for you.
Okay.
Lakeisha did say wow and thank you.
Okay.
For reading.
And Susie, we're going to look at, this is another way you can look at a past life. Throw the stones in and see, and I'll kind of put a pattern together, and then I may put the pendulum over to figure out if you're male or female. I have 4 or 5 ways I look at past lives, and if you get a past life reading from me, it's really better because I do it on Zoom. You can see everything that's going on in the gardens and whatever, but and with the cards, but it really helps me focus if I can talk to you. And so, okay, let's see where to see. Oh, that was what I was worried about. My camera broke today. So wait a minute.
No.
Oops.
Talk amongst ourselves. Mm-hmm. Take a moment to say hi to Greeter and Deb McCain, Joanne, Lakeisha, Janice, Kathy G, Karen Johnson, Sin.
Okay.
Carrie H.
I ordered a new stand already today. It broke early. I mean, it broke about when I was setting it up today.
Oh, that's
So, and it's
such a thing. You know what I mean? Like you're all ready to go, and then that happens.
mhm.
I just want to say hi to Tammy Jackson. Dr. Gail is in the house. She's driving and listening. Hello, Dr. Gail. Libra lady's in the house.
Oh, I think it's
Flora
going to be.
is here.
Oh, it came off again. You guys have no idea. I mean, whenever readers get together, you think, do you discuss which decks you like? Do you discuss? No, we talk about how effing hard it is to keep a damn studio together.
Right? Some days it is a challenge, friends. Some days it is a challenge. Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up for Nancy Jean.
Yeah, and if you want to contribute, now's a good time because I had to buy a new stand. You know, you don't want to see your stuff fall off the edge of the universe. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if I set it so it's right side up. And if I didn't, I'm going to have to read everything backwards. I have to read everything backwards. That's okay.
I just want to take a moment and appreciate the fact that Nancy Jean was able to get that going, because I don't know if I could do that while I was live. I would probably lose my, you know what.
Oh, I know. Okay, we can do it. Let's see. If I turn it this way, then Aries is over here. Is that where I'm doing? I have to figure out where the signs are, guys.
Yeah. Nancy Jean, do you have time to take another question out of the chat?
Yeah, not right this second. I'm going to go through the ones I've already committed to.
Okay.
Because they took, I mean.
Okay, I'll write the time down. Flora D.
Okay.
I've noted your time. And if Nancy Jean has time, she'll
we're gonna throw in for Susie.
Yeah.
The fact this all fell apart doesn't mean you didn't have a past life. I was really expecting that to happen. Okay. Hello, you were female. You died when you were younger. This is your clarity, and this is your this is the ancestor stone. This is a petrified wood from the redwoods. It's just fascinating. It's just darkest red you've ever seen. And your ancestor stone, what you're carrying forward from this life, Susie, is your free will. And it's been hard for you. You've had to receding and release means actually the spirit of this life is receding. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about karma right now. Karma will be gone soon. When we go through this next universal shift, all that crap you carried along, it's going to sort of heal. Your lives are going to heal much easier. But we're going to see what's the one other major factor I can tell her about what was receding. That's what was receding, your limiting beliefs. So I bet you in this life, you've had a whole awakening to a new set of beliefs. And you've let this, in this past life, you learned free will. And I see that you were a young female, but you didn't fall for the societal norms in your period of time. And I really feel like it was around the time you were in Europe. I don't think you were in the French Revolution, but it was Europe in the time of the French Revolution where there was a big broiling and a lot of people moved around. So see if any of those images, if you open your mind up to those images before you go to bed tonight, see if she can come and talk with you, that area.
I pulled a card for Susie. I got prophets and ancient seers. And what that speaks to is predictive guidance and decisions. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
When you went to her limiting beliefs and her free will.
Yes. So you're beating the odds and you're making it into the new life now.
I love that.
Shockwave,
I have you written down here. If we have time, we'll get to that. I'm just writing down the time for Nancy Jean. Janice
has a past life that connects her with her dead husband, a younger paramour, and she thinks they're astrologically linked because the husband and the guy had the same ascendant and the same moon. So I'm going to ask if that's true, if it's based on the ascendant. And that's a pretty strong thing. My second husband was a Sag, and Sag and Taurus isn't supposed to get along real well because Taurus doesn't like all the craziness Sagittarius bring in. And that's probably hard for you guys to believe. I don't like craziness, but I really don't. And and people that would meet us, it was like, and the British term for it, and he was British, was chalk and cheese. That's kind of how we were. But we had the exact same ascendant to the minute. And when my astrologer friend did that, she said, oh, well, now I know why you two get along. You got the same person on the inside. So
Wow.
Let's see if I can pull off the grid, off the garden. I should have named my products with different consonants at the beginning. It would have made my life so much easier. But we're going to look at Janice's. And is she tied to these men through an astrologic belief? And it's going down to no. It's like that's a no for me when it just stops. Okay. Let's see if they had a three-way past life connection. Yep, we went to the past life. I'm going to throw a thing out here real quick about what part of you attracted these men. Oh, okay.
I pulled a card for Janice. I've got connections. Well, I mean, like, no kidding. That's the question we're asking, which is partnerships, contracts, and commitment. So I wonder if they were like related to.
They have the same soul family.
Okay, there you go.
Their values come from the same soul family. And then these three lined up. And if you will notice, this is a tiny little spot on the thing. And that stone ended completely in there. And it says, this has to do with the younger one. And he's one you had more time with over the years. I mean, more lives that you've crossed paths. This is, you embraced clarity and you learned a very valuable life lesson from each one of them. And they've helped you move above old karmic energy and old energy you carried forward. You three have been parents to each other, and you've been a child to the younger one. So you probably felt very childlike when you were with that person. I hope that answers your question, Janice, because that's going to be one of the most complicated past life questions I've gotten in a while.
So interesting. I'm getting total chills with that one, too.
Okay. I like you. She's my chillometer because I'm in Texas. It's going to be 100 degrees today. I can get chills unless I can stand up in there.
You wish you had chills, right?
Right. Not really. Okay.
Just want to say to everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. And so Nancy Jean had posted up on her community tab, so she has a bunch of questions. If we get through them, I'm writing down all the times here in the chat. If we get through her previously received questions, we'll see if we can do some more for the people in the chat.
This is interesting. Joanne says for some reason she's always felt connected to Rome. And I looked at this one a little earlier, but I'm going to throw some stones, but I'm going to tell you what I got for you, dear. You were a soldier in Rome. You were a soldier at the time when they were really building the empire and really throwing their soldiers out into the Middle East and into where Iran is. I mean, as far as the empire went. But I'd ask her if Joanne's in the room, could watch out for her answer. Are you afraid of water? Because one of the things I saw, and I'll talk about it at the end, but I want to see what you think. Okay. Oops. Okay. Yeah. You've been a soldier in several past lives. That's what the truth about this is. And you've always done that when you were younger, which is sort of reasonable. Some people don't go to war when they're 50, right?
Joanne is here, and she says yes to your question about the water.
I'll tell you why you drowned. That soldier was on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean, ran into a horrible storm. That's the first thing I saw was you being lost in this horrible wet storm. But then I'd gotten the image that you were in the Middle East, and they don't have a lot of horrible wet storms in the Middle East. It's pretty dry there, was then too. And for your values, there's a part of you that enjoys being militant. I bet there's a part of you that really likes order. That's why you've been a soldier so many times. But now with your new consciousness that's emerging and your view of how the world works, you don't want to go there anymore. So you have a karmic fight going on inside of you.
Yeah.
What do you get?
I've got Archangel Regular, the Justice, Harmony, and Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Personal Guide. I love that card. It's beautiful. That is Guardian Angel and Spirit Family. And when you asked about the water, I got the Elementals, which is the nature spirits and the 4 elements. There's something, I mean, besides the idea of drowning, which is awful.
No, it's dealing with your emotions, because if you're a soldier, you have to bury so much of your emotions, which is water.
Right.
Okay. Libra lady, did you have an indigenous past? And I did a little quick reading on this, and I'm going to roll out I'm going to see if the pendulum agrees with me. Did she have an indigenous past? Yep. You certainly did. And the fact you and your husband were connected in the tribes, except you were the chief of the tribe. And it was not a matriarchal tribe. We're going to see about what's the guiding message to you from going back and looking at your indigenous lives. Oh, left. Destiny.
Beautiful.
Yeah, younger and free will. Yeah, you were one of the nations that had a lot of freedom for all the levels within the tribe. It wasn't a top-down heavy deal. And which left, right brain, did you do something creative, Libra lady, when you were younger that almost looked like indigenous paintings, because you were recalling being kind of a scribe for that period of time? You had a lot of success in that life when you were younger. It's your destiny to understand the role. The indigenous people are going to play a completely new role in the time that's coming. And if you've never seen, I think Rory Duff did it, but he recorded a reading from a man who did this in the early 70s about the tales of the Indians, bringing it forward. If you listen to it, it's talking about the times we're in now.
Yeah.
And you're a strong believer in free will, and it is your free will to pursue this and to learn about it. And it's part of why you've always been kind of stubbornly against marching in the right path. What's going on, kiddo?
I got Shamanic Healer, Cleansing and Attunement. And I also got, and I love this, this is the Master number 22 Journey Guide. So this is about travel and change in location. And that's what the card says. And whenever I see this card, I sort of feel like, sort of like the Empress, right? Like holding the world in your hands.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being very, like all of these opportunities and possibilities. So embracing like the newness of it. I love it.
Right. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Her free wills, right? Or her free will.
Sin back. Okay. Sin. I don't even have to roll the stones on this one.
No. I just want to say that Janice said thank you to you. Joanne said thank you so much. Love this. Libra lady said, I always liked art and healing with herbs. I also do energy work. So that makes sense.
You're going back into your past lives and bringing there. Okay. Sin MC. Sim's story is that years ago, she was in a relationship with a husband. And when she had a reading done, the reader said that there was a certain level of abuse, and I can't surmise her. She was very polite about it, but it sounded like he was an SOB, and she was tied to him. And this reader basically said, well, this is karma for you because in a prior life, you were the bad guy and you took it out on his soul. And so your two souls have met to exchange karma and make that equal. I'm going to tell you that when I used to hear readers say that to people in reading rooms, when I did psychic fairs in the 70s, that is so much psychic BS, I cannot tell you. You have free will. You were being faced and you went to someone to try and get a perspective on it, because I've had people play this game with me too. Oh, you need to do this and stay in this situation, whatever. No, you don't. And I think you got out of it. You learned what you needed to. You stayed there as long as you can. But I'm just going to tell you, when a reader says you need to stay in a relationship that's harming you, that's just so much reader BS. And I don't hear readers read that way anymore, but
Thank goodness for that.
yeah, no kidding. So Sinmin, yeah, what she told you was somewhat true, I think, but the way she approached it, and I'm just warning this, it's kind of a bellwether for the rest of the people listening to this. Don't tell people to stay in a bad relationship. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Banana said in the chat that she heard that clip running through her mind, and I heard lies screaming in my head. And Sid says, laugh out loud. Thanks, Nancy Jean. Always wondered about that psychic.
Yeah, well, we do the best we can with the knowledge we have. Okay.
That's right.
Deb B, small church in France. Okay, let's see if this place that you lived in, and it's medieval France. I can tell you that already. Okay, medieval France. There you go. That's a yes. And we're going to roll stones in and kind of get some basic characteristics for this lady. These stones this is value and this is values, and it's citrine and what was good luck for you. This is amber, which is our ancestor stone, and it's what we value and bring forth from that life. This is grounding into that life. This is petrified wood, and I know it looks like some really dark stone. All we can think of is it was redwood, kind of petrified. It's really beautiful.
Looks like a chocolate covered almond, actually.
Yeah, it really does. But it doesn't when you see it in real life. You can actually see the wood grain in it.
Beautiful.
And then this is quartz for clarity. So when I roll them in, that's what I'm looking for. And by the way, guys, you can, like I said, I'm going to put the thing up at the end. How you can get in touch with the lady who makes these and get one. I've been playing with it more. I'm getting more secure with it. And today you're just getting a really quick reading. When I read someone with this, I rolled the stones in with 6 different questions. So, okay. When things cluster at the middle, it means all these things kind of relate to you. So we're going to have to figure out whether you're male or female. You remember this life because there was an imbalance in it. That's the karma that's coming forward with it. But it's an enlightening imbalance, which means it was effed up, but it was effed up in some way. You learned something. So we're going to see if you're male or female. So,
I pulled the confusion card. Many choices and uncertainty. It's like a bunch of directional signs.
Yeah, you were male. I think you were a confused male at a difficult time to be a confused male. Let's see. We're going to try one more roll and see. Can you give me more information for this poor guy from France who's in a church near Paris?
I got ancestors, historical connections and purposes, and I got the elementals again, which is the nature spirits.
Yeah, and what I got was what you brought up forward from this was limiting beliefs, and the reason that church was so hard on you was your family was, this is your life. They had a very fatalistic Middle Ages view of what you could do. You felt very limited by it. So it was a limiting belief for you. I think you've resolved it in some of your past lives, which may be one reason why I'm remembering it right now. And in that life, you died when you were younger.
Interesting. That's just so interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Deb, I don't know if you're in the notes or not, but if you could email me or let me know. I see it as like a Norman church. It was like it's not a big cathedral church. It's like a little Romanesque church, I guess.
She did say in the chat it was a huge church. I must have written it wrong. So, but the size of the church, it would be interesting to see what Deb says in terms of like what did the I don't know if she's seen the inside or the outside, but what did the outside look like? Like do you mean her huge church because it had a big steeple?
Does it have stained glass windows? That's the difference, because the old Romanesque churches didn't have great stained glass windows. If the other thing I can tell you is were the walls painted with the biblical stories, because that's a Romanesque church. Okay,
gotcha. She said that she asked for information after a dream.
Yes, she did. Show. Okay, Tammy, trauma from past life. Okay, I'm just going to ask it this way. Can Tammy boot this feeling of trauma from a past life? Yes. And we're going to take a quick look at that life and tell you what you kind of need to get rid of, okay? Okay. Okay, this one fell out. I'm going to put it in enlightening. Okay, from that past life, you've gone through some similar sorts of traumas, and those traumas had to do with getting older. I don't know if that worries you, or you've seen people get older and they don't do it gracefully and you're worried about it. But you can gain a lot of information from this past life, because I think you got to be quite a bit older, and maybe the trauma of being older in a rural society, it was tough, because when you couldn't work the fields anymore, you were like, out of here, kind of thing. But what you're going through inside yourself about this is enlightening, but you can make values from it from this life. So enjoy getting older. Quit being afraid. What'd you get?
I've got the healing heart, which is love, acceptance, and romance.
Mm-hmm.
I've got prosperity. I love that. That's like the yellow brick road in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So abundance and success. And I got balance. And I also got animal totem. So
that would be agrarian.
Yeah. Which is interesting to me.
Okay. Now we're going to go back into the comments.
Deb says, just before you move that, so I have belief in a past of, it says rigorous, and I saw scaffolding.
Well,
referring to the church. I'm
referring to the church. Well, all scaffolding was put up, and some of these churches, it took generations for them to be built.
Right.
Okay, and what were the questions we wanted to go to?
Okay, so 1:11 your time, Flora D.
Okay. 1:11. A whole bunch of people wrote at 1:11.
Her name is Flora D.
Flora D. Oh, past life, please. Okay. Okay. We're going to start if you were male or female. We're getting a lot of guys today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see where was this guy. Let's try to see if I can focus in on time frame.
I got ascended masters.
Yeah, he was very tied to the ancestors and gained. But you know where you were? Do you like Scotland? Because that's where you were, Flora. You were in Scotland, and you were part of one of the tribes up there. And what messed up your life in that life was a younger female. I don't know what you did.
I also got up from the depths. So that's literally releasing difficulty. And it's just interesting that you said it was a female up from the depths, right? Mm-hmm. As there's a female in this card walking up the steps. So literally coming out of that.
Maybe you learned a lot from this. I'm going to see, because that's the other thing I got from this. Okay.
Yeah. That Ascended Masters card says as the message, devoted spirits with specific intentions. Hi, Gina.
Yeah, you were a shaman in that grouping, and I know people. I don't think the Druids made it that far north, but the Neolithic people, there were some Scottish places in the Scottish Highlands that were as equally as important as Stonehenge during that period of time. Mm. That's an interesting past life.
Very. All right, the next one we have is from Shockwave at 1:13 your time.
Oh. What's my past life? Well, you have had a bunch of them, and usually some of the same themes show up and get linked together. So we're going to do Shockwave the same way. We're going to find out if Shockwave was male or female. It's swinging farther over female, and it's swinging to power. So, hey, who was Shockwave in this life? Power. You get power in the middle of it, and you were in your ancestral flow, or the amber was you were female, you represented your ancestors, you were there at a time of imbalance, and you were there to help them deal with their destiny, and you pulled all of that out of having been, you were a shaman or an oracle a whole lot. And if you felt that way, like, I could do what these people are doing, yeah, you could probably do it at a drop of a hat, because you've got a whole lot of inner wisdom that just comes in with you.
I got the family tree, which is expansion and legacy. So definitely the person that is sort of like, bringing it all together.
Right.
I also got achievement, which is completion and a reward. I love this card. And I'm looking at the stone that landed on the gain.
Yeah.
So
that's the citrine, and that's the values. That's the good luck and the good energy that comes into your life.
So I feel like you learned exactly what you were intended to learn there.
And you're bringing it forward in this life in a way that it can be used.
Yeah. Flora says, never in a million years, Scotland. Wow. Thank you, ladies. And to the part about learning.
Okay.
So you've already got
on a banana.
Look at you.
I found it all by myself. See, when you write things in caps, we can find you. You have no idea. Okay. On a banana. Male or female? Boy, you were really male. Okay. Let's see. And I can feel that. The thing is, I can feel the pendulum. It's swinging out to male, swinging back to female, but without the same kind of power. You have to work with a pendulum to understand how they work.
Yeah.
Okay. On a banana. Let me see what I can see about you. You were older. You followed in this life much of the clarity and path you learned in that life. You are stuck. Well, your energy's always been more female than male, and your power is just emerging.
Mm-hmm.
So in that life, it was just emerging. So let's see.
I got Archangel Phanuel, which is hope, optimism, and new beginnings. So to the emerging part, right?
Right.
Tapping into that.
Okay, I'm going to ask if he was a male.
I know Anna personally, and so I know she's very connected, but she doesn't oftentimes allow herself to remember that she's connected.
Okay,
unlike everyone else.
Yeah, like all of us. I don't want to do that. Okay, the question I was asking, and because I got talking about other stuff, were you killed for your skills? Yep, you were murdered for your skills. So I would be shy about using my skills after that.
Right, that makes total sense.
But you have them so innately, so strongly in you. If you don't use them, they're going to hurt you worse.
All right, your next question is Cynthia Pierce at 114.
114, okay.
Yeah, right at, it should be right either above or below on us.
Cynthia Pierce, I found her. Okay. Okay, what is the past life? Let's see. I tell you this, there's another way I figure out past lives, and I'm going to put it out now. When I used to work a tarot table, if you want to do past lives with tarot, this is the spread I use to do a quick fix on who you were. And when I do a card reading on past lives, this is how I start. It's a reading style that I had found, and it's called a Spirit 7. And one day it just occurred to me, oh, that's really about past lives. And it proved very accurate. And I didn't have a garden, and I didn't have a lot of others. But this garden was actually, the words were pulled out of the woman who designed it, watching a bunch of my readings and figuring out what words show up the most. I think they're upside down to you, but I'm sorry. That's because my camera broke. So I'm going to read them and point to them the way I'm seeing them, that I'm seeing them on the table. Okay. Your top card is like this to me, and I'll tell you what this was. There's three triangles here, and I don't know that you can see it all because anyway, there's this triangle is the one, and to me that's pointing up, and that's this life. That's what's happening to you in this life. This was your past life, and this is how far you've gotten in reconciling the two of them. And this is one of the 3 or 4 major lives that affects you this time. And what I got is in the past life, everything was fine. I think you were. It just floated right along, and there were changes you could have made that would have made things better, because this guy's actually reversed on the way I'm looking at it. And that card is death. It's transition, and it means that you had the opportunity to make some changes and you didn't, and you didn't work at building up that life. You didn't work at your own skills in that life. And in this life, you've made quite a difference in these choices. You chose. When you came into a family that kept you kind of limited, and you felt imprisoned, but you broke yourself out and you become the Queen of Cups. So you're doing a whole lot better, and you're creating your own prosperity. You're not waiting on someone else to bring it to you. When you lived in this past life, you lived in a very closed culture where you kind of had to do that way, but it cost your soul, even though it felt like you're doing everything to keep everybody else happy. This is a case of, I think in this life, you've finally told people to go, leave you alone, and let you do what you need to do, and you're prospering from that. And I see you in a very closed culture, like almost a village, tribal culture. And I'm feeling like it's Asian. So what'd you get, kiddo?
Well, so I got freedom,
right?
Letting go, right? Letting go of those limited beliefs and sort of that like tamping down. I think this is interesting. I got childhood, which is innocence, and so tapping into that, sort of. Like I don't mean like in my own world, but you said a little bit isolated, right? Sort of kept away.
Yeah, it was a very closed society, so there was a lot of room for growth.
Yeah. And then when you said about literally you said prosperity, and I flashed this card up. So prosperity, right? Again, the yellow brick road, abundance and success. So you've taken that and brought it forward and learned from it, because this literally says moving on and letting go.
Right.
That's what I got.
And that's what you'd learned from that life. You had suffered, your soul had suffered from the limitations of that life. So do we have any more?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch more. So after Cynthia, 124 is Belinda.
Okay.
And I think that we will probably stop the questions at this point.
Yeah, please, because
so I've got Poetic Justice there too.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Belinda born. I think I'm going to do these. Well, maybe. Oh, let's try. I got to practice on the garden. So, Belinda, you're going to find out. Are you a boy or a girl? It's a boy. It's a girl. It's a confused. Actually, you are a confused. You were if you were either a very feminine male or a very masculine female, because they were swinging equally both ways. So let's see. Oh, and it's the 1600s. You're in 1600s Spain. Do you like Spain? Do you like? Anyway.
Yeah, let us know, Belinda, if you have an affinity to Spain. Attachment to Spain.
You died when you were younger. You actually were male. You may have been more female, but you were a musician.
Beautiful.
You were a creative. My camera's rocking. I hope it doesn't fall down again. Anyway, you were a musician. You did not live to be very old, but oh dear. Now I know why you got both male and female. You were castrati. Do you know what that was?
No. What is that?
That's males that they castrated before their voices changed, so they'd be the sopranos in their choirs forever.
Oh. Okay.
So if you have an aversion to knives, we totally understand.
That's I mean, that's not that fact, but so I got conscious steps, which is literally considered action and looking forward. You know, as you navigated that up from the depths, which is releasing that difficulty. And I also got this, which is just odd to me. This is phase entanglement, which is, you know, emotional influence. And, you know, obviously the music speaks to an emotional influence. I'm wondering if the music is what helped get you through the emotions of not understanding what was being done to you. And I sort of suspect that you were like picked on, ridiculed, you know, bullied, that kind of thing. I don't know why I feel that, but that's what I do. So,
well, what I feel is you had such a beautiful singing voice, and the thing that was your biggest accomplishment became your biggest deficit.
Right.
So you probably live with that kind of dichotomy in values now.
Wow. Amazing. All right, Pug Mama at 1:40 your time. And so we after Pug Mama, we have Gina, and then we have Poetic Justice, and then that's it.
Okay.
Which is good, because that'll take us right to the hour. What timing? It's like
yes.
we knew what we
Pug
were doing.
Mama.
Right, Nancy Jean? It's like
we've got a pug. Okay.
Oh, look at the puppy. So
cute. Well, I don't know that pugs are really cute. Do you know that pugs and mastiffs come from the same genetic base?
Interesting.
If you look at them, you can see it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, pugs are like this big and mastiffs are like, man.
Yeah.
I had a friend, obviously, who.
Have a good I'm just saying hi to Cardamancy Mesquite. Have a good afternoon, Sin. Thank you for being here.
Cardamancy Mesquite, do you really live in Mesquite? Can you use my email to contact me? I want to ask you about something. For those of you who don't, Mesquite's a part of Dallas County.
Cardamancy Mesquite's my tarot practice partner, Nancy Jane.
Is she?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Fellow
Pug Mama, male in this life. Apparently you had power, because that just flew out of my hands. Free will, power over females, and you. Let's see. Is he younger that he started ruling when he was younger, or that he died when he was younger? Oh, he died when he was younger. I think you were a soldier, and I think that you were very close to a female and that you missed terribly, but you went off to war on your own free will. And I see you in, like a page, not a knight, but a page. And you just got caught up in a battle because you were young and fancy free. And I think that may be why Pug Mama doesn't want to rush off and do anything radical.
Yeah, I got the confusion, which is the many choices and uncertainty. Then I've got the prophets again, which is the decisions and predictive guidance. I got the achievement card upside down, so that's the soldier not really understanding, right, being sent off no matter whether you were feeling it or not. And then I've got the healing heart. So love, acceptance, and romance.
Yeah, I think you were in love with somebody and you got pulled away just before you had to go off to this battle, and that's where you went.
Yeah. And
so
Nancy Jean, Cardamancy Mesquite says yes, she to your question. So she does.
Okay, then I wanted, if she can reach me through, you can go to my website and find my email.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give Nancy Jean's email to you.
Okay, fine.
Just email
Fine.
me. All right, your next question is Gina at 141.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the cards because I'm more sure of them when we're looking at a current life right now. I think I'm going to use a smaller deck though because it's hard and I can't adjust it. And so I'm not touching that camera, guys. I told you I'm not touching that camera.
One more, or two more readings. Don't let it knock over now. Pug Mama says thank you. Very interesting.
Tell you what I got out of Pug Mama's consciousness is going to war is the last place she ever wanted to go, ever. And she's done it in past lives other than that one. Going to war is never a good proposition, and we're supposed to be progressing and evolving beyond it. But we're going to talk about Gina M. What is currently affecting your life?
I wondered to myself, Pug Mama, if you have any kind of issues with like drama and conflict, you know, that would be interesting to look at for yourself, right? How you relate to others in times of, you know, elevated emotions.
Yep. Okay, can you see? Yeah, that one's there. Okay, this one. Trying to get these arranged so you can somewhat see them. I usually get this all lined up, and I did have it all lined up, and then the camera fell off. Okay.
That's right. Belinda, by the way, says, this really makes a lot of sense to me. It still plays a lot today in my life, so thank you so much. And Pug Mama says, I hate conflict. It shakes me.
Yeah, I would too if it killed me before. Okay, this is the past life, and this is the current life. And right now, you're the Queen of Wands. I mean, you've beaten out this past life. Boy, you were heavily deceived and told all the wrong things, and you had to migrate a long way. I don't think moving is an easy thing for you to do from this past life. You had to migrate a long way. And but in that past life, your family had more resources, so you could kind of, when everything fell apart, you could pick it up and move along. In this life, you came in some more limited circumstances, and people sort of lied to you about what their values were, but you've beaten it. You said, no, I'm not falling for this crap again. I'm not going to be falsely moved to have to move somewhere. And so you got the Knight of Cups, which in this case, since it's about you personally, it means your soul has always managed to find the right emotional haven, and you are the Queen of Rods. And to me, that's Queen of Wands, and that means you're a very strong entrepreneurial woman. That doesn't mean you make a lot of money, but if I had a project, you'd be one of the people I'd want to hand it over to because you are not fooled by false things. So
I got amazing cards, and that is an amazing reading that you just gave, Gina. I got so Archangel Raziel, which is the Akashic Records, wisdom and inspiration. I've got Divine Presence, which is the force of love in creation. I mean, that's just a beautiful card. I've got the Angels of the Seven Chakras, speaking to her power, her truth, and her connection, which I think is what you were talking about the creative project kind of power person, the entrepreneurial spirit. And then I got relaxation, which is pursuit of peace and relaxation and happy times. So obviously done a lot of work on herself and came into this life with a, you know,
ready to go.
Ready to go. I love it.
Although I don't think you picked a particular family of origin that could help you as much. Well, not her. This is reversed. So I think your family of origin couldn't give you everything. You had to bring it in for yourself, and that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Being self-reliant never hurt anybody. So where do we go now?
All right, last question is poet. I think it's Poetic Justice or Poet of Justice 142.
Yes.
Poetic Justice.
What was our past life? And is it hurting me in this one? Okay.
Yeah. By the way, Gina M says, wow, Nancy Jean, that's amazing. True in this life for sure.
Okay. Good. Because it's a positive reading. I hate it when I get, oh, you're doing nothing with it. You're going to go through this 400 more times. Actually, I talked to Robert, who does the Akashic Records, and he has told me that we're at the end of our time of having to make up for the karma, that this next big universal shift is going to clear that karma up so we can move. That's how we're going to move forward so much more efficiently, because we won't have those old suitcases full of crap.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, just thinking about the possibility or the opportunity for people to release is this like slightly overwhelming, but in a really great way.
Okay. This is Poetic Justice. Well, you see, I always think when you do past lives for people, they go, God, I always felt that way. I could never figure out why. I'm going to no, I can't, because it'll make me nuts trying to figure this out. So.
Gina M says, nope, my family of origin was not helpful in beliefs and lies, hence why I moved 6,000 miles away from them.
Well, that would have been the moving on and not getting stuck in their karma.
That's it.
Okay. This is you today. This is your past life. You came from, in your past life, that family had a lot of wealth, but it was very disconnected from how well it was doing. And you were into it, and that didn't fit the culture. You were I see 1600s, and I see them not accepting your gifts at all. And so you came into this life afraid to express who you are. But you have learned. You have picked the lessons up you needed. I'm going to see if I can figure out who this is. Okay. Someone tried to steal from you. They tried to rob your gifts again. And you said, I'm not falling for that. I'm not going in that direction. And it was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed male, I think, or a female that had a lot of energy over you. But you said, no, I'm not doing that. And you went out and found recognition on your own. And you are in a great position of growth. You're in the Ace of Rods. You're really ready to build a whole new place to be. But you're not done yet, kid. Let me see. Why is your world reversed? Oh, okay. I don't know who you're with or how you're married, but there's a dark-haired, dark-eyed male who you need to abandon some of what's happening around that person so that you can make the ultimate change you need to make in your life.
So Poetic Justice is saying, yep. I learned too late. It feels spot on. An ex-partner male I was in love with.
Yes, but you have the chance of pulling that same kind of energy in. But I think this time you're going to recognize it and move on. Just say, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah.
And this is the season to do it.
It absolutely is. I got ancestors, which is your historical connections and purposes. Mm-hmm. I got, again, the wisdom, the inspiration, and the Akashic record. So again, talking about, bringing your gifts forward. I don't know where this comes from. This seems like a little bit off, but only you would know if this is something that you deal with. So letting go of urgency. Surrender the freedom from time constraints. So I'm not sure if you feel like you're going in 6 different places at once. I mean, I realize that most of us do at some point or another. That's not that big of a stretch, but I wonder how that's tied into the past life is kind of where I was going with that. I don't know what the connection is there, but that's the card I got. So I wanted to show it to you. So just be careful that you're not overdoing. Right.
Well, part of what they learned in the past is that they had to move quickly to stay safe.
There you go. Okay. That's what it is. That's why we need Nancy Jean to help Kelly.
No, I mean, there's just different ways to see that.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that's it. Look at that. Read it 59 minutes. I love that.
Right. We say an hour.
That was beautiful. So Poetic Justice says, I have anxiety and have to take care of my dad. I take
Klonopin. I know what that is.
I need a job. I could go on. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're meting out and you're doing the things to keep your balance, and especially if you're a caretaker, that's the hardest job in the world.
I have anxiety too, poetic justice. So I know a little bit about that and the difficulties that it can put on. So Tammy Jackson wants to know, Nancy, what online rock store do you use? Crystal Vaults or something?
Yeah, Crystal Vaults is very good. I'd go on and I would look and see if they give you good free information about the stones. If they do that, then they really want you to be educated about them.
Right.
And they can help you with that. But and you can empower any stone to do anything. You really can. So, don't get hung if you see something about a stone. Like I bought this little crypto stone, is what it's called, and when you put it in water, it becomes clear.
Beautiful.
But otherwise, it's milky when it's not in water. It's kind of interesting. So I don't know that I'd ever advise anybody else to buy one, and I won't know until I play with it a little bit. But I have been known.
Sorry, can you tell us? Can you tell everybody how to get a hold of the Past Life Oracle Garden?
Yes, it's right there. Baubled NY, and this lady used to make jeweled gowns. BaubledNY@gmail.com. And that's the person, and her name is Alma, and she's an absolute dear. And like I said, I'm playing with it all the time. I may make one day a week, I may do a free open show of past lives, but I have started a membership. And if you have the Oracle Garden, which is this is her garden. My garden's the green blue one. And
Nancy Jean's garden.
Yes, Oracle Garden. And I have about 50 of them, more of them made, and not to rush anybody, but my person who's making them has lost where they were living, so they have no place to make them. So when these 50 are gone, I have to go scrambling again. So and I have a sale going on at crystaldirections.com, my website. You can see it. It explains it. And I have nothing to do with Alma's except that Alma has always helped me whenever I needed anything graphic. So that's my allegiance and alliance to her. And I think it's kind of a fun thing to play with.
Absolutely.
If you would like a longer reading with me, I do current time readings. I do past life readings. I do garden readings. Kind of the whole stretch of what people are. I do. Oh, that's the other thing is starting July 1, I will do the last 6 months of the year readings. It's a 6-month reading. I only do it in December going into January, and now June going July, the last 6 months, because it's very confusing when I have the months all in the right order and they're small clump. But
right.
There are people who have them say it's a great guide for, this was a month where this was going to happen. And I've done a couple samples of that on the show. I did America's next 6 months, and it's really interesting.
Well, all I can say is that you are an amazing reader. And Nancy Jean was kind enough to give me a couple of lessons. I literally started reading tarot. I mean, when was that? Like the end of December, the beginning of January. And I've had so many people say to me, like, I can't believe, like when I tell them that I've only been reading it for such a short time, they can't believe how long. And so I think that that's a testament to your teaching abilities, because the things that you have taught me, I don't really hear other people saying. So I just wanted to say to everyone, if they're interested, getting a reading from Nancy Jean is honestly, it's like life-changing. So,
well, people tend to come to you when they want their lives changed. That's the other part of this. And the other thing is, like I said, I've started the membership thing for people who want to learn about the Oracle Garden, and I'm going to have garden parties 3 times a month. And that's where people can come in, they can read with each other, they can practice reading, and they can split out into breakout rooms. I'm going to do all that whole deal.
Right.
But I kept that as a membership because when I tried sort of giving it away before, I'd have like 30 people sign up and 2 people show up. So
yeah, and that's a lot. It's hard,
You spend a lot of time setting your time out and trying to get it together.
Right. I just, if you don't mind, I just want to say to Tammy Jackson, of course, I'm sorry that you have no new updates on your mom, but we're all thinking of you and sending you lots of love. Her mom had a stroke yesterday, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tammy, and I know what that's like because my second husband had one, but he actually really got a lot of his coordination and stuff back because they caught it in time. I don't know what her situation is, but it's not all as, I mean, it's obviously you would not want it to happen, but it's not as grim as we tend to think.
I want to say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Nancy G, for inviting me, and thank you to everyone in the chat for being here, for participating. Everybody said having such lovely comments and saying like these were great readings and this was wonderful and so interesting and you're both spot on, and thank you. So I appreciate you inviting me, and I appreciate everyone in the chat for all of their kind comments.
The other thing is I'm in the middle of the 9 candles.
Mm-hmm.
And so tonight at 6 p.m. I'm doing a premiere with Danny Shea. I don't know if Danny's going to be there because he's hanging out in Mount Shasta with Dr. Gale somewhere, I think. It's the last plans that I heard. But
well, if you need someone to fill in, I'm available.
Well, the problem is it's just a repeat of what we already did. But the other thing is, after Danny's done, let's see who's the rest, because we're at day 5 now. I have to write these things down. We got Danny at day 5. Ursula from the Ascension Playground is tomorrow night. Then day 8 is Diane from Diane's Tarot. Day 7 is Kim from Intuitive View. Then day 8 is Diane from Diane's Tarot. And then day 9 is Andrea from Lilac Lantern.
Beautiful.
And then on the 20th, I'm probably going to do, on the 21st, the summer solstice, I'm going to do a live with Sheila from Celtic Tarot. It's going to be a live. We're going to be together in the same place.
Wow.
She's coming to Texas.
She's coming to Texas. Wow, that's awesome.
If
if next time you do the candles, you can invite me.
I know.
Have to be here.
Well, what I did is I sent a thing out to people, and the first 9 that show up are the 9 that get the gig.
Yeah.
And and it's a lot of fun, but it's really a lot of work.
Of course it is. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes when you're trying to put out content, no matter what it is, right? There's a lot of work. But thank you very much for inviting me, Nancy Jean.
Oh, you're always welcome.
Well, I appreciate that, and I just want to do a shameless plug. Tomorrow, on my channel, Dozen Cats for Me, we're doing Thank Spirit for Friday. Thank Spirit, it's Friday. It's just a fun little show that I do, and I have Lisa from Spirit Intuitive is going to be my guest, and it's 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's the last Thank Spirit of It's Friday before the summer ends. So if anyone's out and about and looking for something to do, you can pop by there and check us out.
Yeah, and I'm not shocked that someone just said I'm shocked because the hearings are on. I can tape them and I can see them. And guys, I live in back. I'm so old. I remember when you had to watch a show when it was on because there was no other way to see it. That's and right. I sat through the Watergate hearings 3 times because I worked at public broadcasting at the time. And but these hearings are so good. They really are so well put together. And
they are.
But, and I think they are going to bring some changes forward. But we can all look for love and light, and because we're certainly seeing a lot of murky darkness in those people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be on Sunday morning with Scott Allen, and then I'm going to be gone for a week because Sheila's going to be here. And unless we go on, I'm not going to be on. I'm going to take a week off.
Good for you. Enjoy your time with Sheila, and just enjoy some downtime. It's fun. You need it every once in a while, right?
Yep. And with that, we're going to end the broadcast. Say goodbye, Kelly.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.